Hi viewers, welcome to Megla Nurses Academy. This YouTube channel is established to enhance the knowledge of student nurses and professional nurses. This YouTube channel will be helpful to prepare for all kind of competitive examinations like MRB, RRB, MOH, NIMANS and etc. Viewers, please subscribe Megla Nurses Academy to receive the daily updates from this channel. Now we are going to discuss about MCQs on OBG nursing part 1. First question, corpus is a term which is used to name option A, body of the uterus, option B, body of the bladder, option C, body of the uterine part, and option D, A and B. The right answer is option A, body of the uterus, because the upper part of the uterus is called as the body or the corpus. Corpus is the Latin word for the body. That's why the body of the uterus is called as corpus. So the right answer is option A, body of the uterus. Corpus is a term which is used to name option A, body of the uterus. Second question, the process involved in the development of a mature ovum is called. Ovum is an egg or a female reproductive cell. Option A is oogenesis, that is a production or a development of an ovum, and option B is spermatogenesis, that is a production or a development of mature spermatozoa, and option C is ovulation, that is a releasing of the mature egg from the ovary, and option D is none of this. The right answer is option A, oogenesis. The process involved in the development of a mature ovum is called option A, oogenesis. Third question, ovum is surrounded by a cell membrane called option A, vitelline membrane. It is an outer surface of the plasma membrane of the ovum. And option B, Dodderline membrane. It is otherwise called as a lactobacillus. Lactobacilli are the most abundant bacteria present in normal vagina of the women of childbearing age. And option C is a pseudomembrane. It is a false membrane in the eye. Sometimes develop infection and inflammation. And option D is all of the above. So the right answer is option A, vitelline membrane. Ovum surrounded by a cell membrane called option A, vitelline membrane. Fourth question, angulated type of pelvis is a type of option A, gynecoid. It is a typical female pelvis. And option B, anthropoid. It is a narrow and deep pelvis. And option C is android. This is the resemblance to the male pelvis. And option D, platypelloid. It is otherwise called as flat pelvis. So the right answer is option C, android, because android pelvis has triangular inlet and prominent ischial spines, more angulated pubic arch. That's why the android pelvis is considered as a angulated type of the pelvis. So the right answer is option C, android. Angulated type of pelvis is a type of option C, android. Fifth question, fertilization occurs in. Fertilization means that is the union of the sperm and the ovum. Fertilization occurs in option A, fallopian tube, option B, ovary, option C, uterus, and option D is cervix. The right answer is option A, fallopian tube, because fertilization takes place in fallopian tube only. So the right answer is option A, fallopian tube. Fertilization occurs in option A, fallopian tube. Sixth question, placenta develops at a gestational age of option A, 4 weeks, option B, 8 weeks, option C, 12 weeks, option D, 16 weeks. The right answer is option C, 12 weeks, because by 12th week, the placenta is formed and ready to take over the nourishment for the baby. So the right answer is option C, 12 weeks. Placenta develops at a gestational age of option C, 12 weeks. Seventh question, the part of the uterus which is situated between the body and the cervix is termed as option A, isthmus. On the surface of the uterus, about midway between the apex and the base is a slight constriction known as isthmus. And option B is a corpus, that is the body of the uterus. And option C is a ovary, that is a female reproductive organ. And option D is a vagina, that is a muscular tube leading from the external genitals to the cervix of the uterus in women. So the right answer is option A, isthmus. The part of the uterus which is situated between the body and the cervix is termed as option A, isthmus. 8th question. Which one of the following is a predisposing factor for disseminated intravascular coagulation? Disseminated intravascular coagulation is a condition affecting the blood's ability to clot and stop bleeding. Option A, abruptio placenta, that is a placental separation from the inner wall of the uterus before the birth. And option B is a placenta previa. It occurs when the baby's placenta partially or totally covers the mother's cervix. And option C is a gestational diabetes. It's a form of high blood sugar affecting the pregnant woman. And option D is a pelvic inflammatory disease. That is a PID or a pelvic infection. So the right answer is option A, abruptio placenta, because in case of disseminated intravascular coagulation, due to the placental abruption, the tissue factor thromboplastin flows from a retroplacental hematoma into the maternal circulation, resulting in consumption coagulopathy via the activation of an extrinsic coagulation cascade. So the right answer is option A, abruptio placenta. Which one of the following is a predisposing factor for disseminated intravascular coagulation? The right answer is option A, abruptio placenta. 9th question. What is the expected fundal height of 28 weeks of gestational age? Fundal height is a distance from the pubic bone to the top of the uterus. Option A, 22 cm. Option B, 24 cm. Option C, 26 cm. Option D, 30 cm. So the right answer is option D, 30 cm. Because the fundal height should be about 30 centimeters at 28 weeks of pregnancy. So the right answer is option D, 30 centimeter. What is the expected fundal height of 28 weeks of gestational age? Option D, 30 centimeter. 10th question. Placenta and fetal membranes are developed from dash. Option A, decidua, the thick layer of the modified mucous membrane which lines the uterus during pregnancy and is shed with the afterbirth. And option B is a chorion. A chorion is a double-layered membrane formed by the trophoblast and the extra-embryonic mesoderm. And option C is a trophoblast, a thin layer of the cells that helps a developing embryo attach to the walls of the uterus, protect the embryo and forms a part of the placenta. And option D is none of the above. So the right answer is option C, trophoblast. Placenta and fetal membranes are developed from option C, trophoblast. 11th question. The lifespan of fetal RBC is about. Option A, 20 days. Option B, 30 days. Option C, 80 days. Option D, 160 days. The right answer is option C, 80 days, because lifespan of RBC of fetus is 80 days only. So the right answer is option C, 80 days. The lifespan of fetal RBC is about option C, 80 days. 12th question. Another name for pregnancy mask. Option A, Hegar sign, that is a softening of the lower uterine segment, a probable sign of the pregnancy. And option B is a Goodell sign. It is a significant softening of the vaginal portion of the cervix from increased vascularization. And option C is a Chiasma gravidarum. This is otherwise called as melasma or Chiasma fisi or a mask of the pregnancy. And option D is a linea nigra. It is a vertical line developed on the belly of the mother during the pregnancy. So the right answer is option C, Chiasma gravidarum. Another name for pregnancy mask is option C, Chiasma gravidarum. 13th question. What carries oxygenated blood from the placenta to the fetal circulation? Option A, umbilical artery. Option B, umbilical vein. And option C, uterine artery. Option D, uterine vein. The right answer is option B, umbilical vein, because in fetal circulation, the umbilical arteries carry deoxygenated blood and the umbilical vein carries oxygenated blood. So the right answer is option B, umbilical vein. What carries oxygenated blood from the placenta to the fetal circulation? Option B, umbilical vein. 14th question. The umbilical cord is otherwise known as. Option A, funis, it is umbilical cord. And option B, carpus, that is the body of the uterus. And option C, vernix, vernix caseosa is a white, creamy, naturally occurring biofilm covering the skin of the fetus during the last trimester of pregnancy. And option D is a isthmus. Isthmus is a small region only about 2 cm long that connects the ampulla and the infundibulum of the uterus. So the right answer is option A, funis, because umbilical cord also called as navel string, birth cord or funiculus umbilicalis or funis. So the right answer is option A, funis. The umbilical cord is otherwise known as option A, funis. 15th question. Amount of amniotic fluid at a term measures about. Option A, 300 to 400 ml. Option B, 400 to 500 ml. Option C, 500 to 600 ml. Option D, 600 to 800 ml. The right answer is option D, 600 to 800 ml, because about 600 to 800 ml of amniotic fluid surrounds the body at full term. So the right answer is option D, 600 to 800 ml. Amount of amniotic fluid at a term measures about. Option D, 600 to 800 ml. 16th question. Golden color amniotic fluid suggestive in case of. Option A, post maturity. Option B, in concealed hemorrhage. Option C, in RH incompatibility. And option D, in intrauterine death. The right answer is option C, in RH incompatibility, because amniotic fluid is a golden color in RH incompatibility is due to excessive hemolysis of the fetal RBC and production of excess bilirubin. So the right answer is option C, in RH incompatibility. Golden color amniotic fluid suggestive in case of. Option C, in RH incompatibility. 17th question. The total iron requirement during pregnancy is estimated approximately about. Option A, 600 milligrams. Option B, 1200 milligrams. Option C, 1000 milligrams. Option D, 1400 milligrams. The right answer is option C, 1000 milligrams, because the body iron requirement for an average pregnancy is approximately 1000 milligrams. Hallberg in 1988 calculated that 350 milligrams of iron is lost for the fetus and placenta, and 250 milligrams is lost in blood at delivery. In addition, about 450 milligrams of iron is required for the large increase in maternal red blood cell mass. So the right answer is option C, 1000 milligrams. The total iron requirement during pregnancy is estimated approximately about. Option C, 1000 milligrams. 18th question. Which hormone results in diminished muscle tone and motility of entire gastrointestinal tract during pregnancy? Option A, estrogen. Option B, progesterone. Option C, insulin. And option D is glucagon. The right answer is option B, progesterone, because elevated levels of progesterone and estrogen mediated most of the functional changes of the GI system during pregnancy. The progesterone causes smooth muscle relaxation, which slows down the GI motility and decreases the lower esophageal sphincter. So the right answer is option B, progesterone. Which hormone results in diminished muscle tone and motility of the entire gastrointestinal tract during pregnancy? The right answer is option B, progesterone. 19th question. Half-life of HCG is about. HCG means it is a human chorionic gonadotrophin hormone. Half-life of a HCG is about. Option A, 12 hours. Option B, 6 hours. Option C, 24 hours. And option D is 14 hours. The right answer is option C, 24 hours, because HCG falls with a half-life of 24 to 36 hours until pregnancy levels are reached. So the right answer is option C, 24 hours. Half-life of HCG is about option C 24 hours. 20th question. Identify the commonest lie among the following. Lie means fetal lie refers to a relationship between the long axis of the fetus with respect to the long axis of the mother. Option A, transverse, baby positioned horizontally across the uterus. And option B, oblique, the fetal long axis at an angle to the bony inlet and no palpable fetal part generally is presenting. And option C is an unstable lie, that is a frequent changing of the fetal lie. And option D is a longitudinal, that is a baby's spine run in the same direction of the mother's spine. So the right answer is option D, longitudinal, because the most common relationship between fetus and the mother is the longitudinal lie. So the right answer is option D, longitudinal. Identify the commonest lie among the following is option D, longitudinal. Thank you viewers. Thanks for watching this video. I would like to thank all the viewers and the subscribers for your support and encouragement. Viewers, subscribe Meghla Nurses Academy to receive the daily updates from this channel. Click the bell icon for your notification. Thank you.